What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back with another video, and today we are doing a 4-round mock post Sam Darnold trade. So today, obviously, going to be round 1, and we're going to try to get through all the rounds. Obviously, news might spark up, Denver might trade up. You never know what's going to happen. Obviously, anything crazy happens, we'll pivot from there. But this is going to be with trades, so I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to try to make this as unique and fun as possible because, we've been pretty much setting this draft order for a little bit now. But I do hope you guys enjoy because it should be really fun. So, starting off with the number 1 overall pick. The Jaguars are sitting there, and, this is the easiest pick in the world, right? So, we're going to go Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, if you guys are new, like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. Hit the notification bell because we do stuff every day. But Trevor Lawrence, again, blue chip prospect. You already know what he is. He's a beast. I am a little bit worried about his weight. People are surprisingly not talking about how slender he is. He is pretty thin. When people try to bring up the 210 at his pro day, then it's like they obviously haven't actually read into the fact that he couldn't really lift because of his shoulder. But obviously he'll be playing around 220, 225 in the NFL, which should be okay. Should be. But I do have a little bit of worry because he is pretty damn thin for his size. But that's really my only concern with him. I know he can go through his progressions. Doesn't do it too often because he has an arm that can get the ball to wherever the hell he wants. So Trevor's never going to be a wowing guy, but he's just going to be an excellent, consistent, high-level quarterback. And that's going to easily win you a Super Bowl if you have a good team around him. The question is, will some of these guys win the Super Bowl for their team? And that's what we're going to discuss with some of these later quarterbacks. Next, the Jets. This is a pretty foregone conclusion now. Sam Darnold traded away. There's no more confusion up in the air. Could they surprise everybody and go with a Trey Lance? I don't think so. I don't think you trade away your somebody who's actually guaranteed to actually give you some consistency for a guy who's pretty much unproven, doesn't have everything ready for right now. Could be a sneaky, crazy pick, but again, the NFL is not as high on Trey Lance as they are in Zach Wilson. Justin Fields, another sneaky one, but I don't think so. Again, it's a media smokescreen to put Mac Jones up so high. It's complete bullshit. But, right now it's a battle at number 3 between Trey Lance and Justin Fields. And I put Justin Fields ahead, but that's just me. This pick is easily going to be Zach Wilson. He could actually have a little bit of learning curve come to the NFL. He did play against lesser competition. He had a line that actually wasn't that good, but played well. What I mean by that is the line themselves, when you watch them, they aren't actually that talented. But the guys going against them aren't that talented. So it kind of evens out there. So obviously Zach Wilson's going to not have nearly as many clean pockets in the NFL. But when you see the ball placement, it is second to none. It's better than Trevor Lawrence, for Christ's sakes. Obviously some injuries. He had a shoulder repair. Obviously you can come back from that. You can be stronger. And he obviously looks pretty damn comfortable throwing the ball. And then he did injure his hamstring. That's why he didn't do any of the testings with explosiveness and stuff. And again, that could be a concern down the line, but you saw him light it up with that hamstring. So I think that you should feel pretty good. And again, the question is, will Zach Wilson be able to put your team over the top if you have a really good team around him? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if he develops. You have a good coach there now. You have a pretty damn solid offense. You have enough picks to build everything you need. That is a very critical thing. You have everything you need to build your team. And then you have, again, a really good GM that will be able to make the moves necessary. So I'm a big fan of this. The only way that this will change is if they trade this number 2 pick to Houston for Deshaun Watson with a plethora of other choices. But I really don't think that's going to be possible, given the fact that they just traded away the one quarterback asset that could have been part of this number 2 deal. Next, with the number 3 pick, the San Francisco 49ers. For me, it's Mac Jones is such a smokescreen. You can literally look at Shanahan's face when the pro day was going on for Mac Jones, and it was just obvious. It was obvious he was there. They had a private workout with Justin Fields. Okay, that's the only reason they show up to Mac Jones pro day is because the assistant GM, I believe, was at Justin Fields pro day. Not to mention they had their own private showing with Justin Fields. To me, I think Justin Fields is the pick. Trey Lance could definitely be. I know for a fact they're keeping Jimmy for one more year at least because they want these guys to grow. Both these kids, they need to sit, they need to grow, they need to develop. But both have amazing talent. Obviously Shanahan knows which way he wants to go. But I honestly think that Justin Fields is the guy. It was pretty, RJ might have tried to smokescreen us a little bit, but he was pretty adamant on the fact that Trey Lance was worse than Josh Allen coming out. So Justin Fields has the potential, in my opinion, to be the best of the class. And this is the perfect situation for him. I'm gonna go Justin Fields. I know a lot of you guys don't like that too much, but honestly, this might sound a little bit rude. I don't care. This is obviously my mock draft, and I think Justin Fields has the potential to be the best. That's just from what I've seen. I mean, you look at Clemson and you see what he could be. Like that was like with his pass to Chris Olave, that was like 65 yards downfield on the money with like a rib injury or like a back injury, literally just torquing it 70 yards downfield with velocity, extra power on the end of that throw. It did not die out in the air. That's ridiculous. He has the best. He has the best arm in the class, but it's consistency, it's processing, it's not panicking, and that's something consistent processing. He does process the game pretty well, but it's consistent processing. And again, people like to point out the 2 games they sucked is like those were against like the number 1, number 5 pass defenses in college football, which again, that's gonna be very consistent in the NFL. But let's talk about Trey Lance in University of Central Arkansas in multiple games where I believe he had less than 50% completion percentage or something. It's like, I think we need to chill out on the Justin Fields hate if we're going to not hold Trey Lance to the same type of level. At number 4, I mean, I hate to say this, but apparently the Falcons are open to moving out. And I'm looking at teams that could use a developmental quarterback. I mean, you can look at the Lions. You'd see the Patriots moving up to the spot. But I honestly think if we do potentially, I'm going to map this out in my head because this might spoil some of the picks in the future. I'm thinking about moving up with the Broncos. I know some of you guys do not like Trey Lance. I'm not a huge Trey Lance guy. I think he's a top 20 guy, especially after watching him. Like, he looked better at his pro day form wise. I was a little bit concerned with how he overthrows. He looked at himself at the pro day. He overthrew some, but he has some amazing balls. And again, if you're able to either be in a situation where they're like, we don't really care, or else you're in a situation where you can sit and develop, I think he's gonna be perfectly fine. So that's a situation like Denver. Obviously, San Fran, another one. So if the Falcons trade up here, we want to look at the opportunity cost. Obviously, the Bengals, they're going to be choosing one of the generational prospects. Probably the same thing with Miami. So you're possibly losing Pitts or Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase. So I honestly think that, I mean, then you look at Detroit and shoot, like, what are they going to do? That's something that's probably my hardest pick of the entire draft right now is what would Detroit do? Would Detroit go after a quarterback like Trey Lance? Or would not Trey Lance? Would they go after a guy like Mac Jones? No. But would they go after a guy like Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell? Yeah, they would. But this is something that you might have to give up if you're the Falcons, because we're going to have to give a lot of draft capital to move up from 9 to 4. So I honestly think that should be the move. Obviously, the Patriots, they're calling. And I mean, I honestly think that since Trey Lance is so raw, if you do get a first next year, it still might be pretty damn high. So that's something that I would take into consideration. You go to the Patriots, they're fully loaded. I think the Patriots could go all the way if they brought in Trey Lance to learn from Cam Newton. I obviously think the Patriots are definitely trying to move up right now, but the Broncos have been I believe they're pretty damn aggressive right now for a quarterback. And this is a spot where I think Trey Lance could shine. They're not a scheme. They're not an offense that needs to be one way. They can mold their offense. Drew Lock, that's not a guy who they really need to build their offense around. Again, Patriots a little bit better for Trey Lance, but we're gonna move up with the Broncos because I think that we could potentially move back up with the Falcons here because again, they don't need Kyle Pitts if Kyle Pitts does fall to them. So I think that there is a chance. There's a chance here. So I think that the Falcons are going to be trading back. I'm trying to see who the hell I'm trading up with. It's the Broncos. We're going to be trading with them in order to be able to select Trey Lance. Again, we're going to have to sacrifice obviously more than just a couple ones. So I'm going to probably toss in a 3 this year. And then maybe I think we might have to do I don't think we need to do that big of a trade. So we might do a next year 3. That's a likely one. We're going to toss in a next year 2 because again, I think the Broncos are going to be like, well, I mean, we need the picks this year to make sure that Trey has everything around him, but next year we can sacrifice the capital. And again, I had them trading up to 6 before and giving up 2 firsts. So an extra third and an extra second to me doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Again, the Falcons could be using that on offensive linemen. They could be using that on weapons. This draft is pretty damn deep. And again, how do you win championships? By having a lot of dudes who are young on your roster who do not eat up the cap. So Honestly, this is going to be the trade. We could have added in players here. Again, I don't really like that idea. Trey Lance is going to be the pick. Again, you guys might want Micah Parsons at this pick. I'm honestly considering him here at 8. That's another reason why I can't really think the Broncos would be going, would not be trying to move up. They could be moving up to pick like 7 to select a guy like Micah Parsons, but they're not going to do it in this case. If I were the Bengals, I'd 100% go Penei Sewell here. There's no doubt in my mind. So I think that's exactly what we are going to do. It's like the idea of Ja'Marr Chase. I mean, I've been hearing so many rumors that Joe Burrow is just trying to recruit Ja'Marr Chase. Penei Sewell didn't have the best day in the world at his pro day, but again, you look at him play very athletically. It's not really something that I would really be too concerned about. Kyle Pitts is another really great option. All 3 of these guys are all really good talents. I just personally think these 2 are the generational ones. So for me, I'm going to be going Penei Sewell here all the way, and that's going to be the pick. That's a lock pick for me. This next pick, the Dolphins. So this is a tough one, right? This is definitely a tough one because I personally would go Kyle Pitts, but they already have their slot tight end Mike Gesicki. They already have their inline tight end Adam Shaheen. Does that mean that they can't get Kyle Pitts? Absolutely not. But I think Ja'Marr Chase fits better. And it hurts me to say that because I just don't want to give Ja'Marr Chase to the Dolphins. But he is a freak. He could be one of the next best wide receivers in the NFL. He was potentially better than Justin Jefferson. He did beat him out for that number 1 overall jersey over at LSU. And we see obviously what happens nowadays. I don't think Tua needs another tight end, given the fact that, again, Gesicki does bring that Kyle Pitts-esque type of talent. Obviously not even close to the level of talent, but the same type of skill set. That's what I meant to say. It's a tough one. I would personally go Kyle Pitts here. That's what I would do. Obviously, Ja'Marr Chase, you do need wide receiver a lot more than just a pure tight end. Again, the tight ends, you guys have invested quite a bit in them. Don't believe that that's as big of an issue. I looked at your guys' wide receiver roster. I used to be like, oh, dude, you guys got Will Fuller, Devontae Parker. You guys are good. You guys got a lot of dudes. I'm surprised. It's honestly a really shit depth chart. I was genuinely surprised by how poor this was. Personally, I'd trade out of this spot, maybe back like a couple spots, and then be like, oh, well, neither of these guys are probably going to take Pitts. Then I could just take whatever else, but that's not realistic. You guys traded back up for a reason. Shoot, we could just go Kyle Pitts here, though. Fuck it. We're going to go Kyle Pitts. I think that that's going to be the best option here. I'm screwing over the Falcons, by the way. That was one thing. I really wanted to see, maybe the Falcons would just stay and take Pitts. But again, if you're getting that much draft capital, Pitts is a generational style talent, but I don't think he's going to change your franchise the way that maybe those picks will with an older guy like Matt Ryan. Again, there's enough big play threats on your roster that I don't believe that you need to invest that high of a pick in it. You do have problems on your defense. You do have other positions that you can address with those picks. And again, your entire safety core was completely demolished. There's a lot of different ways we can go with the Falcons here. So at number 7, I'm going to be looking at the Lions, and it's Ja'Marr Chase all the way. So technically, we kind of screw over. We're screwing over the Falcons here, but that's okay. Number 8, we got the Panthers. So this one's a toughie for me because I'm down to Micah Parsons and Rashawn Slater. Both of them are excellent talents. Do not get me wrong. Personally, I might be leaning more towards Rashawn Slater here just because he is an absolute freak. He's very athletic. That's the bottom line. He's very athletic. But if you want to talk about someone who's athletic, I just want to give a quick shout out to my guy Spencer Brown here. Literally got a 10.0 out of 10 on the RAS score. That's number 1 out of 2,000 offensive tackles in pure raw athleticism. So cheers to you. So number 8, a sneaky pick here could be Jalen Waddle. I'm not going to do it. But it's pretty much down to Rashawn Slater, Patrick Surtain, or Micah Parsons. That to me could mean a trade down, especially since you guys just did give up some draft capital. Looking at teams that could want to move up, I can see the Eagles trying to move up for Jalen Waddle or something. I don't think they're going to do that given the fact that they traded back. You can see a team like the Chargers saying, screw it, we might move up. But realistically, I think we should stay planted right here. Patriots could try to move up for a Mac Jones. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Mac Jones is going to fall farther than what people think, especially after Belichick looked at Mac Jones overthrow way too many passes. I genuinely don't think the Patriots are going to be targeting a quarterback. We could see the Bears trying to move up, which might be my second trade down option for the Falcons. It could be just trade down. But given the the position that Carolina is in, you got to get that left tackle. We're going to get Rashawn Slater. You got to make sure that that's protected. And again, we criticize his arm length, right? He actually has longer arms than he might have the same size as Tevin Jenkins. I don't know if Tevin Jenkins got his arms measured. He might have I think it's 33 and a quarter inch arms, which is barely like a quarter inch above Rashawn Slater. He has longer arms than Eichenberg, Raduns, Mayfield, Christensen. I think he also has longer arms than Carmen as well. So it's a little bit scary, guys. So the next pick, we got the Falcons here. And again, I'm going to probably try to address, I might go Micah Parsons here, just say fuck it. But I think this is another good spot to trade back. We could even get even more first, but that's a little bit too much. That's a little bit out of the picture right now. I could target a corner here as well. Cornerback is quite a bit of an issue because they don't honestly have that great of a corner core. Their AJ Terrell did not make an extreme jump to where he's an elite corner the way that obviously the Falcons need. But obviously, you could trade back and get more capital. For me, I might be targeting Micah Parsons here just because of the fact that, you guys are running now, I believe, a 4-3. So you got Deion Jones there. You got, I think, Aluakon is an edge rusher. I'm not sure if he's actually a true outside linebacker. Michael Walker as well. Maybe I'll leave that alone for the time being. I'm going to actually trade back again. I honestly think that we can trade back twice and be able to still get some of the best edge rushers in the class, i.e. Kwity Paye. So let's look at a team that might want a Mac Jones, that might want a Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. I'm seeing the Eagles right here. Again, it's unrealistic to move up, but the Vikings just might have lost their starting cornerback to a third-degree felony for domestic assault of family. Yeah, he apparently dragged a woman outside of his car and by the hair because she wouldn't unlock her phone to show text messages with another person. That's a little bit scary. So, yeah, he's going to be locked up for, I believe, 2 to 10 years, and that means he's gone. So this is where, I don't think people realize how crazy the situation could be. This is where they're going to need to move up. So we're going to offer, they have a bunch of 3rd and 4th round picks. So we're going to offer possibly, we're going to see. We could do that trade because again, we need to get the best corner in the class. You guys got Patrick Peterson for a reason, but you don't really have a solidified number 2. Mike Hughes, I don't believe is that guy. And we're gonna send this out. We're gonna see how it goes because the Falcons did accept it. Because again, it's a huge issue. We're gonna go Surtain here. He's also gonna learn from somebody who's very similar in build and speed to him in Patrick Peterson. So bring on the Patrick duo because that's gonna be you guys also. You have Aaron Rodgers in the damn division. You guys need to make sure that you're locking it down. And plus, you lock down Jared Goff, then there you go. You're gonna get automatically 4 wins a year with how the Bears are rolling as well. So that's a big plus. The Cowboys are sitting here and, well, they just got nabbed at their first guy, but I honestly think that JC Horn could be a really good option just to go right here. Looking at other guys who could be trying to move up, we could be seeing a team try to move up for a Jalen Waddle like the Patriots. I'd be making sure that there's no team trying to nab a corner. And unfortunately, the Eagles are sitting there. And the Eagles need a corner badly. If JC Horn falls to the Eagles between Jalen Waddle and JC, it might be hard to go away from JC given the depth at wide receiver in this class. So we're going to be rocking JC Horn here, back-to-back corners off the board. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. At this pick, I'm going to be trading out. Micah Parsons would be a fun pick here, right? I definitely understand that. And I just think that if you are trying to really test Daniel Jones in his ability, you're going to want to make sure that you have a good line. And you lost your starting right guard? I believe it's your right guard. Yeah. You need to fill that in. Now, I'm not going to take AVT right here, but I know the NFL is very high on AVT, like top 15 high on AVT. So, with teams trying to move up to this spot, there are a lot of teams that could use a tackle. I'm going to be moving up with the Chargers. It's a quick jump. So, definitely it's a small jump, but definitely an easy one to make. The Giants are going to be able to move back and still select AVT because the Eagles are not going to be selecting that. So, overall, we could try to offer this 3 here. It's a little bit ridiculous. Oh, right. The Giants are the one team that are just a pain in the fucking ass. So we're going to reverse the roles here because, again, the Chargers are easier to trade with than the Giants because the Giants never accept any trades. We're going to see what's fair. So we're going to be offering not this first round pick. We're going to offer this first round pick for this, and then we're going to see if that is likely. So that's likely. So that's going to be equal for both of them. So I think that's 100% fair. If you give a 1 and a 3, that's going to be perfectly fine. And then they have enough picks. They might want to have their 7th. So 7th is where it becomes unlikely for them. So we're honestly just going to leave it as is, and we're going to see how this rocks. Because that means it's about equal for both. So the Chargers accepted the offer, which means the Giants accepted the offer. The Chargers are moving up, and they're going to be selecting Christian Darsaw. It's just it's too good a value to pass up on. He really needs to be this pick. And again, the tackles at the left tackles are they're pretty much guard profile. That's a little bit scary to me if we're going to be 100% honest. So Christian Darsaw is going to be the 11th pick in the draft. Number 12, the Eagles are sitting there, and, well, the corners are off the board. So it's Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith. And, I mean, as much as I want to put Jalen Waddle to the squad, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one because, again, the Eagles, they already have their slot. They already have Jalen Reagor there. Does that stop you from going Jalen Waddle? No. But it could make you want to trade out with a team that wants a guy like Mac Jones. That team could be the Bears. There's a lot of connections between Chicago and Philadelphia right now, and that could be a good talking point for the Bears to move up to select Mac Jones. Because, again, you serious? Do you think Andy Dalton's going to be the starter in this division? No. Mac Jones has at least the potential to be a starter. So that's definitely on the table right now. Again, Micah Parsons on the board too. We could see a micro jump from like the Patriots, or we could even see the Falcons just try to make a micro jump right here and try to go after a guy like Micah Parsons, like Kwity Paye. So let's see our options right now. Again, Jalen Waddle is on the board, and I think he needs to go at this spot. So looking at teams that could try to move up for him, we could even see the Dolphins try to go right here for another slot weapon. Now you got Kyle Pitts as well as that. Don't think that should be the option, but we'll see how that goes. Honestly, we might just pull Devontae Smith. We can't pull a Devontae Smith card right here, guys. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be stupid. So I'm going to be possibly trading back right here with, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah could be interesting because you do need a linebacker, safety, and corner. Because I know you guys don't draft linebackers in the first, but he's not a linebacker. He is a linebacker. That'd be interesting. We're not going to do it, though. This is just a tough spot for me. I think the Bears might be trying to move up here. And the Eagles have already traded back once, and they're still getting a really good talent, probably at 20, and we might move up with them as well. Because, again, the Cardinals are kind of getting fleeced on one of the top 2 corners. We're going to move up with the Bears right now, and we're going to select a quarterback. It's going to be interesting. But the Bears are kind of in win now mode. They kind of have to win now or else they're fucked. The Eagles, you need as much draft capital as possible. So the Bears are going to be trading a possible next year 1 as well. And maybe not. Maybe we don't need – I think we should trade in – wait, the Steelers – I remember the Steelers made this exact type of jump. They traded a 3, and then they also traded a next year 2. So we're going to see how that goes. We might ask for like a 4th in return. I think that's fair. We're going to ask for a 4th in return. So the Eagles are going to get ample draft compensation, and the Bears are going to be moving up to select Mac Jones, which, I mean, that makes perfect sense. It's perfectly fine. And the Giants are sitting here, and, well, they could go anywhere they want. We're going to go Elijah Vera Tucker here to solidify that guard spot. I would love to go Rashawn Slater, but, again, that didn't happen. So AVT going to the Giants. Again, I know the NFL is extremely high on him, so given my insider knowledge, I unfortunately want to put him here. I'm not that high on him, but as a guard, he is really, really talented. Now the Falcons are sitting here, and they could use a 4-3 defensive end. This is where you picked up multiple firsts, and that's going to be a pretty nice little jump right there for you guys. You're going to get Kwity Paye. We could trade back in as well to get a guy like Trevon Merrick. You guys know me. I love trading back in with the Falcons. Now we have a shit ton of draft capital as well. And again, if you guys want to Azeez Ojulari, not a 4-3 defensive end. You guys are running a 4-3 cover 3 scheme from what you guys have told me. So I'm going to be 100% rocking Kwity Paye here. Even if you guys are running a 3-4, which again, you guys told me you're running a 4-3, then I would still stick Kwity Paye in at 3-4 defensive end and just rock it. I love Kwity. He is unbelievably talented for me. With the Patriots, this is an easy one for me. I think it's Jalen Waddle all the way. I don't think bringing on a bunch of wide receivers who are kind of like mediocre to no names are really worth taking, or worth like passing up on a Jalen Waddle. Again, Micah Parsons is a beast, but I don't know how comfortable I am with that. Jalen Waddle, the pick is. And, we got the Cards. I don't know if I could take a guy like Greg Newsome this high. This would be a good trade back spot. I'm looking for a team that might want to move up. I might just try to move back up with the Eagles right here, if we're going to be fair. Might move up with the Dolphins as well to be able to select another player in Micah Parsons. Honestly, I think the Dolphins could do that. They traded up before. I think we can trade up again, and I think we might see a three-way trade here because again, uh, I'm bugging right now. The Raiders could definitely use Micah Parsons. So if you want Micah Parsons, you're going to be having to jump a team. So unfortunately, the Raiders are going to be screwed by the Dolphins. Sorry, Raiders fans. And you know what? It's going to be so worth it. They got a 3, so we might. Oh, damn. So they're actually going to be looking for their 3 this year, and this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting pick. We could see a 2 swap along with the 3. That could be. They could try to move up one spot, and then we could try to pick up a next year 4. That could be definitely interesting. I think we're gonna move up one spot in the second round, also with the Dolphins, and then we're gonna acquire a 4th round pick. We're gonna swap our 3rd rounder this year. Again, not too many needs for the squad. So being able to get a guy like Micah could definitely be it. And again, the Cards lost their 3rd round pick. That's another reason why I'm really trying to hammer on this. So we're just going to be doing a pick swap of the 1 and 2, and then we're losing a 3 and adding a 4 next year to select Micah Parsons. Again, we could definitely go like a guy like Devontae Smith here, but I don't think it's the right move. Micah Parsons all the way. Stealing him from the Raiders, who I think this is, if you don't have Micah on the board, you go Tevin Jenkins. Otherwise, you go Spencer Brown in the next round. So, again, you could go JOK to be your Sam linebacker, but we have a lot of Sam blitzing linebackers in this class who I feel pretty comfortable putting in that role. Tevin Jenkins is an absolute monster, and I was thinking about even trading up with the Steelers right there to select Tevin Jenkins, which Steelers are going to be a tough one without Tevin on the board. Next with the Cards, this is a spot where I'm going to trade back with the Eagles. I already talked about that 3-way trade. We're doing it again. Eagles are trading up with the Cardinals in order to select Devontae Smith. So, I mean, Eagles, if you guys want to look at your picks, look at all these picks. You want a good team? Look at all your picks. And then also, by the way, you guys could have potentially 3 first-round picks. So, like, yes, absolutely. We're gonna possibly offer. We might try to just do. I was thinking about maybe potentially trying to do We could do a 3-pick swap. Let's see if that works. We're gonna do a 3-pick swap. So honestly, we're just barely moving both teams back into different positions. Nobody's losing or gaining any picks. So the Cardinals denied it, which is fine. We can honestly just toss in a 7th rounder in there to give Cardinals another late round selection. We'll see if that is able to coerce them. Obviously, I can just increase that value with like a 6th. Guys, it doesn't matter. We're putting in an extra 6th. Okay. Whoop-de-do. We're getting Devontae Smith at 18. Devontae Smith played at 160 pounds during the year. Know that for a fact. He's actually increased up to 170, so he can put on weight. I think that he fits a perfect role in this offense. And again, the NFL will have Devontae falling. The NFL will have Devontae falling. Again, it's scary, but we saw the wide receivers roll late last year. Talk about a guy who has been playing at 160 pounds. He's going to fall. Okay. It's a pretty much guaranteed not top 10. And again, he just falls down to here because of the situation with all these guys, quarterback traits, everything else. So at number 19, this is an easy pick for me. It's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I love JOK. You guys could use a slot corner. You guys could use a linebacker. You guys could also use a single high safety. I don't think you can play him at single high, but you can definitely use him as a box safety if you want to get rid of Landon Collins and potentially trade him for some extra draft capital, save some money that way. JOK is the best pick, hands down. Hands down. I know you guys love that pick, and I love it as well. Being able to use him as that slot corner as well, that would be great because then you could use him also as a flex linebacker in sub packages. He's going to be a really nice tool to use for your team, and your team's already built to win. That's just ridiculous. It's another team I thought about potentially moving up to number 4 just because they don't really need anything else, especially in the first rounds in the next few years. Now the Cardinals are sitting here and they're getting the exact same player who I probably would have given them before. They need a day 1 impact. So unfortunately, Caleb Farley to me is a little bit too risky. And again, the NFL is lower on Caleb Farley given all the injuries. So we're going to go Greg Newsome, which the NFL is extremely high on. Again, we have teams right here like the Titans who will be dying to trade up for a player like Greg Newsome, who can actually start. Thought about going up with the Bears to select him, but that didn't work out. You got to get a quarterback there. So next with the 21st pick, we got the Colts. And this one to me is pretty damn obvious. It is Samuel Cosmi. Given the fact that he tested in 98th percentile in the majority of the things that he tested in at the combine. And again, Samuel Cosmi is a super consistent lineman. He's nothing, it's like nothing really great about him, but he's super talented overall. So I like it. You need some stability on the offensive line. People who try to say edge rusher and stuff, it's just a smokescreen, man. You got to get the offensive line, especially in this class. So next, we got the Titans. And the Titans, it's down to Rashad Bateman or Caleb Farley to me. And you could see a guy like Elijah Moore being the pick here as well. But we could definitely go Elijah Moore and try to trade up in the next round. I think Caleb Farley's going to be the pick here. We're seeing a lot of teams like the Steelers, the Jets even, that could be trying to take a corner. The Saints could be moving up for one. I think we might have to just screw them all over and get Caleb Farley. The defense is garbage right now. After losing pretty much 3 of our starting weapons there on defense, that really hurts. So we need to fix up the secondary. Caleb Farley, again, lots of injuries. If he doesn't work out, it's a number 22 pick. And again, this is a team that doesn't need a day one impact because there's a lot more issues than just one corner spot. Right here, they're pretty much one corner spot away from having another solidified high, like top 5 defense. This is a different story. They have a lot more work to do, and Caleb Farley's a little too good to pass up as the number 4 corner in this draft. Number 23, the Jets. This could be a place where we go edge, but I might honestly want to move back given the fact that we don't have AVT here. I want to go possibly a guard spot, but I don't really know if I want to be pulling up one of these tackles and putting them at guard. So it's a little unfortunate, but we are probably going to be moving back. There is, again, like Najee Harris on the board, Azeez Ojulari for teams that need edge rushers, Trevon Merrick for teams that want to be moving up. We could see a micro jump from the Jaguars to select Trevon Merrick, but it would be interesting to see if I don't think anybody's going to be trading up for Trevon Merrick here. I don't think that's going to be the right move. There is still Rashad Bateman on the board, however. So there are teams that could use a Rashad Bateman. And I'm looking at the Packers as a team that is going to be moving up. Yes. I've never done this before. I've never done a Packers move up before, but it's going to happen. They're moving up in 2 drafts straight. And they're going to be sending in, I believe, we could send in a 3rd round pick. But we're going to be doing it next year because, again, the Jets, let's see what their next year draft capital is. They have a lot of next year draft capital, but we're going to be sending in that next year 3 to move up. Seems a little bit like fleecing the system here, but we're going to get the same guy we probably would with the Jets at that spot, given the fact that, it's just the way I think. But at number 23, they're going to get Rashad Bateman. That's a pretty damn good pick for the Packers. I love that pick for him. Running he ran like a 4.42 official, which is still really solid at 190 something pounds. He's definitely a good enough body type. You look at him, he looks very healthy, very built. I'm a big fan of it. Steelers are sitting here, and we could just go Najee here. And I honestly am starting to think that, unfortunately, it's what we have to do. Jamin Davis, another option for us. Zaven Collins. Given the fact there's so many, again, these guys they don't fit the 320-pound mold for the Steelers. I talked with RJ Gillen about it, and he told me, he's like, dude, look at all their tackles. 320 pounds is their lightest. And then most of them are 340 plus, like Zach Banner. So these guys don't fit the mold, and unfortunately, we just saw the one guy who does slip by. So looking at that, I don't think the Steelers can really flip what they want. Jackson Carman's the next closest thing, and he has stub arms. Spencer Brown could be somebody who I'm going to be targeting in the next round for him, especially since we just lost out on a team that probably would have taken Spencer Brown next round. I think that we could trade back here. Eric Stokes would be a fun option, but I don't think we want to take him here. This could be a good trade back spot, especially since Rashad Bateman just went. I would potentially take Rashad Bateman at the spot if he is here. I love Jamin Davis, by the way. I'm looking at a team like the Saints that could be trying to move up as well for like a high-end corner, because I don't see any teams within these next few picks trying to get a running back, but I could see a couple of teams trying to get a corner. Actually, I can only see one team trying to get a corner within these picks. So it's an interesting spot because there's a lot of different variations that we could be going here. You got Kadarius Toney as well. It's very interesting, but we could also see the Saints without a corner. And the Steelers are without one of their starting corners. It's 100% true. But again, I think the Steelers, they at least have some guys this hurts because I think they lost their top two. They also lost Janoris Jenkins, who I don't know if he was on the team this year, but that's just a lapse of my memory. It's nothing like I actually don't know what actually happened last year. But we could see there's definitely a lot of options here. We got a lot of tackles as well. The Steelers could trade back with the Chiefs, for Christ's sakes. Trevon Merrick's still here. You know, there's a lot of really good players left on the board, guys. Somebody who's a sneaky first is a Milton Williams. Definitely somebody who I would target. But the Steelers are definitely going to be trading back here because I would really like to target Najee Harris, but as a later pick in the first. So I'm looking at guys, again, we got Trevon Merrick here. We could just do a one-pick swap, but again, that's kind of stupid. I'm going to be possibly trading with the Saints here. Saints are going to be moving up. So speaking of a team that I traded with the Packers a couple years ago, quite an insane trade. We're going to be seeing them move up, and we're going to be offering a late compensatory third-round pick because, again, the Steelers need it. We offered a next year 3 to move back about the same distance, actually a little bit more. But this time the Saints will have actually probably, I mean, it seemed like I was fleecing the system there. But the Saints are more desperate than the Packers. The Packers, they're not as desperate. So we're going to be getting Eric Stokes here, who I think is the best zone corner in the class. And we're going to solidify that deal because they need to make sure that they have at least somebody. But Eric Stokes, again, you can use him in man 100%. As a boundary, I love him. I love his potential. Next, we got the Jags, and this is either going to be a safety or else it's going to be a tackle. And I think I'm going to be rocking safety here. I might be regretting this pick a little bit. I might have wanted to go a linebacker there. But, you know, we'll think about that. There's obviously a lot of really good ones in this draft. The Browns are on the board, and I mean, I could wait till next round to now get Gregory Rousseau to be on this squad. I think that's the reason why I'm having a lot of these guys fall is just because of that. But I could be just going Jason Owe here is just an absolute athletic freak and just pairing him up with Myles Garrett to potentially boost his value. Honestly, I might go linebacker here, and it's not someone who you expect. It's Jamin Davis. You know, 4.37 speed, fastest of all time, 100 percentile in vertical jump as well, and plays like it. I have him as a top 20 player in the class. I absolutely love Jamin Davis. Thinking about taking him for the Steelers if we're going to be 100% fair, but, you know, he's going to be on the Browns in the same division. It hurts. So now the Ravens are on the board, and I still think they should go wide receiver. I still think they should go Terrace Marshall here. The Jets could honestly pick up Terrace Marshall. You could look at the Chiefs to pick up Terrace Marshall as well. The Buccaneers, somebody who they could develop a Terrace Marshall. We're going to just go out right here. The Ravens, they sit, they stay, they get the guy who's best for them. And that leaves the Steelers to go Najee Harris. Again, I was thinking about potentially going a different route here, but the Steelers now have an extra third-round pick. Najee Harris, it is. Jets. Jets are going to be looking more into the edge route, and this is where they can take a guy like Jalen Phillips or Jason Owe. Again, Jason Owe fits more their wide nine scheme a little bit better. And given the fact that the Bucs are on the board, I'm not going to let Jason Owe slip past here. Because if I were the Bucs, I'd select Jason Owe because you can sit him and then let him grow on your roster. I'm a big fan. Jason Owe to the Jets. That's something that, I mean, you have a lot more picks now, and you're building a future for Zach Wilson in this entire roster. So I'm a big fan of it. Bills, you're on the board, and we've taken most of the really good corners on the board. I can see us going an edge player here. Jalen Phillips, to me, if your guys are going to be winning a Super Bowl anytime soon, Jalen Phillips' concussion history scares me for the long term. But short term, you already know. He was the number one player coming out of high school, I believe, and he's been lighting it up. I'm a big fan of him. Big fan of Jalen Phillips on this roster. Again, you just got to fix up that defense one little bit, and boom, you're lighting it up. Chiefs, there's zero doubt in my mind. I don't care if they can fit as a guard or a tackle. It's Eichenberg or Raduns here. I think Raduns fits more of the Kansas City mold than Eichenberg, but I mean, I'm a bigger fan of Eichenberg personally, but I know Raduns is really talented, so we're going to be taking Raduns here just for the fuck of it. So next, we got 32. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, for Najee Harris, it's, again, the Steelers, they just can't take a tackle, and he fits the mold. He fits the mold of a RB1 in like a true RB1. The rest of them, I'll say this right now. All three of these running backs are running back one because in their respective roles, they're the best in the class. Each one of them fits a different role. Najee, power back, heavy carry, volume carrier. Travis Etienne, more that Camaro role. Javonte Williams, power back in an RBBC. So each one of them fits their role perfectly well. Just wanted to put that before we end off the first round, which the Bucs are sitting here. And to be honest, they want to continue remaining relevant in the front seven, might want to just get Christian Barmore here. They could go wide receiver with a guy like Elijah Moore. I could definitely see that happening. They could even go a tight end potentially behind Gronk, but I mean, shoot, they don't really have anywhere that they need to go. That's the kind of the crazy thing. They could go Aziz, but again, that's kind of against the point. You just signed Shaq Barrett to a very long contract. So for me, Christian Barmore, I mean, you don't know how long Ndamukong Suh is going to last. Christian Barmore is going to be finishing off the first round. So let me know what you guys think. It was an interesting draft. This is probably my most iffy pick, but honestly, I'm not feeling too harsh about it. We'll see what we do in the next rounds. Again, save your thoughts for the next round because you start seeing my draft philosophy there. But I will thank you guys so much for watching. Ooh, it's a rough end to the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.